In the parking lot of the United Auto Workers headquarters in Detroit, a sign says, 300,000 laid-off UAW members don't like your import. Please park it in Tokyo. In the light of that, and with auto plants closed all over the country, this would seem an unlikely time to open a new one. But that's precisely what's happening. The new plant is being parked in Tennessee, and the Japanese firm that's putting up the plant is betting $600 million it's making the right decision. Nissan, the makers of Datsun cars and trucks, and now the third largest automaker in the world, is building a truck plant in Smyrna, Tennessee. The Japanese had no desire to take over some closed-down American factory. They wanted to build the best that could be built from scratch. When finished, it will be 69 acres under one roof. Once they start making trucks, it will be the world's most automated motor plant, even more up-to-date than these robots in Nissan's truck plant in Japan. There'll be 219 of these little uncomplaining workaholics, spinning and welding and painting. The Star Wars of car wars. They'll soon be turning out these vehicles in Smyrna, light pickups for rural and suburban America, already nicknamed the Tennessee Cadillac. To try to ensure that an American-built pickup will be as good as a Japanese one, Nissan is spending time and a fortune to train its American workers. A year and a half and $56 million to learn new skills and to learn a new attitude. It's no small thing to break the lifetime habit of the American work ethic, which the Japanese regard as often being unproductive and short-sighted and greedy on both the shop floor and in the boardroom, and in what they see as the excessive number of management levels in between. So here in Smyrna, they're spending a ton of money to, in a way, deprogram Americans. Teamwork instead of boss-worker mistrust. Nissan has sent 1 in 6 of its American workforce to Japan for special training in the Japanese work ethic. This group has spent over a month in Japan. They've returned with lessons learned. Have you people changed since you came back?
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The biggest lesson we learned was in human relations.
One of the things they told us as advice to our new plant was to master your equipment and to love your fellow workers. And they displayed their concern for each other so that it just rubbed off on everybody.
They go to work with an attitude that they're going to build a good car. And they do. They build a good car. I hope that we have the same attitude.
The training to achieve that began in Japan. Nissan's truck plant, Kanda, Japan. At 8:40 every morning, 8:40 sharp, the workday begins. We've come to believe, and it may be true, that the quality of a Japanese car or truck is like no other because the devotion to the job of the Japanese worker is like no other. That inscrutable something that combines quality and efficiency. But these Japanese are trying to make themselves less inscrutable to the Americans from Tennessee.
Oh, you good to that? Okay. Compression rod, 4x4.
4x4, oh.
For the back.
Back. Oh, there.
And then with the drip pin.
Oh.
Assembly line lessons in attention to detail and concern for quality.
Slow down.
Whatever the Japanese did, the Americans did. Nights out were spent joining in the latest craze sweeping Japan, in which bar and disco customers get up to the mic and do their thing.
I can't stop loving you.
Most of the Americans sent to Japan had never been out of the country before, some never out of Tennessee. Yet some of them hated to leave Japan. The Japanese experience, the fellowship of the assembly line, hardly turned them into robots.
Well, I'd like to say thanks for the fine training we had, and like Steve, it's hard to say goodbye. We know we're not going to see y'all again, and thanks.
So the Americans went home. Obviously, the Japanese experience was something special, impossible to duplicate in Tennessee. But something, an American version of this new way of working, is evolving.
Management really legitimately cares about their employees, and there's a great deal of involvement and interpersonal relationship between all the people, not just technicians and not just supervisors, but it goes from technician all the way up to Mr. Runyon.
Well, Mr. Runyon come down, you know, I don't know how he does it, but he can walk up to me right now and he can ask me how my wife is doing and call my kid's name and stuff, you know. And I've never been with a company that could do that, you know.
Mr. Runyon is Marvin Runyon, a retired Ford executive Nissan hired to run the Smyrna operation. He, too, has been trained to work the Japanese way.
Going to be an executive dining room and all that?
No, we don't have an executive dining room. We'll eat in plant cafeterias.
I also noticed you're wearing the Nissan company uniform.
Well, that's right. We call it wearing apparel, and all employees are given wearing apparel, and they like it very well. And it's voluntary to wear it. It's not mandatory. My name has a logo on the cuff.
His boss is Takashi Ishihari, president of Nissan Worldwide, the man who decided to invest in America. That decision to invest all that money in Tennessee was not made without certain qualms. The main one, the quality of American workmanship.
Mr. Ishihara has told me that he is concerned about the quality of the work coming out of here. And any study that you look at says that the Japanese vehicles have better quality. So naturally they're concerned about that.
It's not surprising, therefore, that of the half-dozen Japanese executives in Smyrna, one is in charge of quality control, Shuichi Yoshida.
I think our people here at Smyrna can do that job because they have been in Japan and learn how to make vehicle in the way that their counterpart makes there. So we can produce a vehicle with the same quality or better quality than the Japanese. We are determined to beat the Japanese in quality rating. You know, that is our aim.
It also helps if you can be very choosy in your hiring process. Nissan has received over 80,000 applications for the 2,600 jobs in Smyrna. Each of the Americans was carefully screened.
I went through 4 interviews before I was hired. 4 interviews and pre-employment training before I ever had a position offered to me. I think they were looking for people that worked good together with other people and got along with other people. I think they felt like they could teach you the job, but you can't always teach somebody a proper attitude or a good working attitude.
Have any of you worked in the auto industry? Nobody? You have? Well, you're really the best judge here. How it compares with, where'd you work?
I work for General Motors.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot different, you know, just the attitude of the people are a lot different, you know. But like when I worked for General Motors, they never spent this much time with, you know, like training, you know, for a job. Like when I worked for General Motors, you know, you went out with your foreman in the morning and he showed you the job for a couple of hours, then it was yours, you know.
Our production technicians that are going to be building these trucks are going to have not only the responsibility for putting the parts together and making this truck, welding it, bolting it together, or painting it, whatever it might be, but they're going to have the responsibility for inspecting that truck, and they're going to be the final inspector of that truck. They have that responsibility.
You say production technicians, that translated as assembly line workers.
Well, they're production technicians at Nissan.
Most outstanding difference between the American conventional automobile companies and Nissan at Smyrna might be the degree of participation by workers, by technicians, and all employees. We have a very good policy of encouraging all employees to participate in the decision making and coming up with solutions.
so everything looks rosy enough. But there's one ingredient missing when you talk about building cars or trucks in America. UAW, the United Auto Workers, one of the most powerful unions on this continent. Nissan says it's creating 2,600 jobs in Tennessee, and when it starts building trucks, it will have wage and benefits as good as any UAW contract, so UAW need not apply. The UAW says it covers every auto assembly plant in the United States and Canada, and that includes Tennessee. And it's going to park on Nissan's doorstep and sign up its workers.
We're not going to give up, and we're going to keep trying and going back if that's what it takes until we organize the Nissan workers.
So says Douglas Fraser, president of the UAW. But the men and women in Smyrna remain unimpressed.
We have no need.
We have
need
no
to
need
talk to
for
them
you.
about anything.
Donna?
I feel the same way. I feel that we don't have to pay a third party so many dues every month to represent us when we're being treated fairly, and we're happy.
It's not surprising to me that the attitude of the present workers is negative toward the union. You know, that many of them have been over to Japan and indoctrinated with their system. But I think there's such an essential difference in the culture of the Japanese worker and the American worker. The Japanese worker is obedient. He's not accustomed to exercising an independent choice or dissenting with the point of view of the foreman. And that simply is not the American way. The American worker is fiercely independent. He's never reluctant to voice a dissent. And that's going to happen in Tennessee.
You have to have trust. Nissan has not shown us any reason for us as workers not to trust them. Personally, I hope this is the last job that I'll ever apply for. And the way things stand now and the way things look now, I fully intend to stay with this company until I retire.
Do you all look on the company as lifetime employment?
Yes.
Do any of you feel funny about working for the Japanese auto industry when the American auto industry is in such trouble?
We work for the American auto industry, that's it. We work for Nissan Motor Manufacturing USA. Yes. Our president is American. All the people are American. We're Americans building an American-made truck.
The Japanese has been a good student of American teacher for many years in many fields, particularly in automotive industry. We learned from America many things, how to make good vehicles, yes. And I think the teacher has a destiny to be what shall I say?
To be the student of the student?
Yeah, that's the way.
With 300,000 UAW members out of work, that reversal of roles has been a sobering experience.
It's been a hard lesson for us. And I can't imagine things going back on the shop floor, and that's where it really counts, back to the old adversarial days. And you know, I'd be frank to admit, this is where competition comes into play. And had it not been for the Japanese competition, maybe we'd have ignored quality to the degree that we did in 1978. We didn't ignore it completely, but it was lowered in our sense of priorities.
You know, there's no 21st century automation sitting over there in Japan that we're way behind. What's happened is that the Japanese look at this thing from a long-term standpoint, and they say, well, we ought to do this, and so they do it. We look at it from the standpoint, well, wait a minute, can we pay for this in a year? If we can't put it in. We can't afford to put it in.
I think the Japanese observation about American management being short-sighted and trying to generate the maximum profits, not for the next 5 years. You don't plan on the long term, but plan for the next quarter, and then the next quarter after that. And I think that's a point well taken. I believe that American management is realizing that and is changing. And if they don't change, they're going to be in deep difficulty permanently. The attitude of the workers also has changed. You know, if they didn't know it before, I think they know now. There's no economic Santa Claus, that we're in a tough competitive fight in the auto industry.